Alright gang, welcome back to our Kinlaig Skyefin Aquafarm series. And it is June, and today, even though it's technically not the best time to sell the fish, they actually are the best price. They're dropping in price, as a matter of fact, and the best price that we can sell them for is better than the average best price, which is typically in July. So we're going to sell the fish today and see what kind of money we get out of that. We have $202,000 at current. We still do have the offshore aqua farm or offshore agriculture farm, whatever, on auto selling. It's going to continue to be on auto selling for the remainder of the series. And we're kind of right now just going to be dropping off some of this trout that we do have at current into the lakes. Now, we do need to buy some fish food today. We need to buy quite a lot of fish food, as a matter of fact, today, because our aqua farm is completely empty, and we want to continue to have that producing for us as we move forward. And like I said, all these lakes, they're not going to be able to, unfortunately, have enough. We're not going to have enough fish, I guess I should say, for all of these lakes, unfortunately. I think I'm going to have to come around a different way on that one, because just based off of where they are. So it's been unfortunate there, but, you know, it is what it is. We just work with what we got. There they go. So the other lake, unfortunately, is not going to have any more trout in it, which means it probably is going to be sitting stagnant for a little while. It is. So since it is, I'm going to turn that off because we don't need to spend some money on that. So let's get this realigned here, and we can start throwing these up here. Now, we talked previously about the liftable bale and pallet mod, and it is out for this. I just don't think it works for the fish food. I think that's what I was trying to get at. I didn't really say it properly last time because I have been utilizing this to pick up these pallets in the past. But the fish food still, for whatever reason, does not allow a liftable perspective from it. So if you buy fish food from the shop or whatever, from the market, it's not able to be picked up. I've been picking these up by hand before, so it was just a bit of a misstatement or a miswording by me, I guess I should say. Because I have been picking these up, so I knew this would work, and it is out. You're right, because obviously this is Highlands Fishing. But the fish food portion of it is still not available for us, at least on console or anybody on ModHub, to utilize to have a liftable version of that. That's really what I was trying to get at, so I apologize for that bit of a misspeak there, or misspoke, I guess, in that instance, how I misspoke in that instance, but, yeah, anyway. How's everyone doing? Hope you're doing well. It's going to rain today. We actually don't have a ton to do today, surprisingly enough. We've got to sell all this fish. We've got a couple other maintenance type things to do. We got to buy the fish food, etc. But we don't have a ton to do, so it's a good thing. It's a good thing and a bad thing. So we're going to see what else we can get into today. There is a nice tractor in the used market. It's another John Deere, very similar to the 6R we have. It's actually slightly bigger than that. I'm not quite sure if I want to buy that or not, but you know, it's certainly something to consider, right? We have $202,000 at current. When we sell all this fish food that we've got here, it's going to significantly jump. It's going to spike big time. So, you know, maybe it's beneficial for us to buy a third one. I don't really necessarily think we need it, though, at this point in the series. You know, it might be more beneficial for us just to keep this money. And when we continue Z's story, because this story is going to be continuing, obviously it's very loosely based, but this story is going to continue. And I've kind of spoiled it a bit already, but I'm not really going to give you what map or anything like that. And it's going to be a while before it comes out because we have, you know, so many series going on right now. We need to clear some of those out before we do another one. But it is going to be, Z's going to be going back home-ish. I'll leave it at that. He's going to be going back home. So no longer over in England or Scotland or Britain or wherever, Wales, wherever this is. I think it's Scottish area, but whatever. No longer are we going to be overseas. We are going to be back on the homeland, and there's an adventure for Z there as well. So something good is coming up, I promise. Those of you that are members probably already know kind of what it's going to, you know, entail to an extent, because we kind of went through it to try to, you know, plan something potentially out already. But I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it, and yeah, gives us something to look forward to for what Z runs into or gets into next, I guess. This is a lot of fish here. We're going to be making some good money. Now, it's all trout, to be fair. It's all trout. It's not salmon. We do still have salmon in the offshore agriculture, offshore aquafarm, whatever you want to call it. We do still have salmon there. And it's on auto-selling, so, you know, whenever that makes some, it's selling them. There's not a ton left on there, if I'm honest with you. I can show it to you really quick. 11,000 liters of salmon. There's 5,000 liters of fish food. Ideally, as I mentioned before, you know, we kind of completed that objective, but I really don't enjoy that offshore. I don't like it at all, as a matter of fact. So I think personally what I will end up doing, and I really screwed this up. I didn't realize we had this many here. I need to move these over more. What I'll likely end up doing is selling that offshore agriculture or offshore aquafarm or whatever you want to call it. I'll probably sell it when the time comes. Mostly because, one, I don't like it. And two, that will allow us to go back to a distributing perspective, if you will. So we will see as we move along here, but I don't think I'm going to be keeping that. We accomplished it from the perspective of what one of the main goals was I set out to be on this series, which was to, you know, have that. And we did it, and we actually did it all by hand for once, which was another part of it, right? I said I wanted to have it, do everything at least once by hand before I distribute everything. And we did that as well. So, in essence, we accomplished all of those goals. The only thing really that's kind of left is to be, you know, completely self-sufficient when it comes to creating fish food. And the problem there, which we found out after it was too late as well, is that the fish food factory that we purchased, that's here on the map, would never allow us to be self-sufficient. Even with the 3 lakes we have here, would never allow us to be self-sufficient. You know, counting the actual aquafarm, or the aquafarm, I guess, the young fish breeding, whatever you want to call it. Counting that and the lakes, the 3 lakes we have, which is not that many. Ideally, I'd like to expand those, but it would never allow us to be anyway. We'd have to put down more. So that's the other thing to think about today, and I'm probably going to do it, is figure out where we're going to put down another fish food factory, right? Now, is that still going to get us self-sufficient? I hope so. I hope so, but, you know, I don't know. I think removing that offshore is really going to help get us to that point, too. And again, this series itself, when we end this series, which, you know, we got a little ways to go here, but when we end this series, we're not really going to be selling anything off. Everything's going to be kind of sold together as one farm, right? Which, what that means is it's going to help us out tremendously when we move to the next adventure for Z. It'll make more sense when you see it, but it'll help us out tremendously. Now, I'm probably not going to get the full amount I should get out of this farm when I do go to sell it, right? It's probably not going to happen. We're probably going to get, you know, we'll have to give somebody, whoever buys it, a bit of a deal. What I can tell you is the case will be coming with us. This John Deere will likely not. We'll likely sell this and everything else, as a matter of fact, with the farm itself. So this won't be a series where we break everything down to, you know, nothing. Where we're going to try to sell it as a aquafarm, basically, for somebody else who, you know, wants to take that on. Maybe somebody who wants to start up, has to do a startup of some kind of a farm, and they've already got, you know, a bit of a foothold in the ground here. It's a profitable business, right? But we'll see. I mean, we're still going to get good money for this, though. I mean, we really are. We've done a lot. May not seem like it when you think about it, but if you kind of step back and zoom way out and see how many pieces of land we have now, and truly how much equipment and everything that we've got, we did a good job here, man. We've got a lot of money that's going to be coming our way. A lot of money. Taking away the bit of a, you know, loose story here that with Z's adventure. The other thing about this that's kind of cool is it's going to allow us to continue to expand and utilize larger equipment. I don't use large equipment very often. A lot of you know that. Most of the series that I do, especially from a challenge perspective, we're starting bare bones with very little, if anything, to our name. You know, we're also starting with a small amount of equipment too, right? Really little equipment, and we really don't normally get to a point where we're utilizing large equipment, and sometimes I would like to do that. I feel like that's one of the things I don't do enough, is use some of the large equipment, but it is a little more difficult to do some type of challenges with large equipment. When you've got large equipment like that, it just makes things a little bit easier, right? So that's the main reason why I don't utilize large equipment all that often. So it's another reason why I kind of like this. We kind of started it to an extent, but it was extremely loose compared to now, and I would still argue that today's Z's adventure stories are very loose as well, except for the one where we actually did a legitimate story based off of my life to an extent, which was prior to this one, right? Which, if you haven't saw that, I recommend you do it. It's a short. It's not a very long one. It's a short series, but nonetheless, it is, you know, the one we did FS22. It was loosely based. We just kind of started with a very little money, but then when we sold stuff and moved on to another map, we kind of brought everything with us, if that makes sense. All the money and everything, and started with that. And that's kind of what we're doing here to an extent, right? We're kind of taking that same approach here, but we're utilizing it from a loose-based story perspective. And like I mentioned, it is going to it's going to continue. There's a lot still left for Z to do. I'll leave it at that. And this is not close enough on this side. But we got 189,000 out of that. Or 199,000, I guess, technically. Man, that is insane. All right, this is always a struggle. There we go. Man, look at that. We're at $512,000, gang. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Now, what I will say, and not giving anything further away, right? I've kind of talked a lot about, you know, we're going to have a little bit more money, and you know, we're going to be moving similar or close to being back home for the next iteration of Z's adventure. What I can say is that just because we might have a lot more money to start with doesn't necessarily mean we're going to have the biggest and the most gigantic equipment right off the bat. I don't know, right? Some of the land could be super expensive that we're buying, right? And if it's super expensive, we might, you know, be in a similar state that we're in, you know, when we end this series, where we've got some middle of the road type of equipment, but we might also still have some small ones. Maybe we have one or two large pieces of equipment as well, right? Somewhere in the middle like that. But we just kind of continue the story in that perspective. That's at least what I'm thinking and how we move along. Now, real quick, if you are watching this when it first released, this is coming out on a Wednesday, which is, you know, it hasn't come out on a Wednesday for a while. And the reason why that's happening is because this week, I've been, you know, mentioning it and preaching it for a little while now that the guys have been getting a little bit busier given the time period of the year at this point, real year, not in-game year. So we were only able actually to get one recording done this week for the competitive one-tile challenge. So, you know, we're because of that, we're going to throw this in on Wednesday, and I'm moving the normal, well, what has been, I guess, for the last week, really, 2 weeks. The Triple Threat Challenge is going to be put on Thursday. So we're just kind of breaking it out a little bit more and adding this in here. So it's a good thing, though, right? Because we want to get this series, you know, concluded here relatively soon, and being able to have a secondary one this week is going to be helpful, right? I'm still going to aim to have another one of these on Sunday morning like we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. So getting another one out this week is a good thing, right? So we got to pick up some fish food here. And then I'll show you the other tractor I was thinking about, but I just don't think we really need it. But I'll show it to you anyway. Oh yeah, I forgot there's some fish food here that we left. I forgot about that mess last time, so we got to clean that up. But here you go. So it's the 7R series John Deere. It's a fantastic tractor. It's only $125,000, which is another reason why I'm actually kind of considering it. One, not only will it help find a buyer, right? Because there's going to be 2 tractors on the farm at that point. But 2, it's a nice tractor for a very inexpensive price, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I'm considering it. I'll leave it at that. The other thing to do really is to think about doing is buy another piece of land, right? Are we going to utilize it? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe we will. I don't know. We looked in the last episode, I think. All right, this isn't going to work. I kind of didn't think it was. So here's what I'm talking about. When earlier I said, you know, I couldn't pick up. You can, but see, I can't pick up the fish food. I'm trying right now. I can't pick it up. There's no. And if I go into the actual sale or the shop, excuse me, there's no liftable version of it, right? And I've looked out there as well, and there's nothing on Mod Hub for that. But that's what I was trying to get at more than the liftable. There's the Highlands expansion, but there's nothing underneath the liftable bale and pallet mod, right? There's no mod for it. The mod hasn't been updated to include it. It needs to be, but it hasn't been. That's really what I was trying to get at. So, anyway. All right, I'm going to try to put this right on the edge here. Whew. Only just did we keep it up there. Only just. I know I'm going to buy a bunch here, so I'm just trying to give myself as much room as I possibly can, right? The other thing we got to do today is we do have some, I think it's barley or it's wheat. I don't remember which one it is. It's one of the two. I think it's barley, though. To move over into our mill, we need to do that so we can actually continue that process going so we can get that starting to distribute to what will likely is going to be today our new, or secondary, I guess I should say, not even new, or secondary, but it is new, but, fish food factory production, right? I'm not sure which one I'm going to put down either. As a matter of fact, I don't know if we're going to utilize the same one, which is kind of large, and I'm not quite sure that's what I'd want to do, or if we're going to use, a different one. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that yet. Nope. Oh, okay. All right, well. I don't know how that is staying on that way, but okay. Whatever. All right, so let's buy... I'm going to buy, yeah, let's buy a little bit more. And if we don't get them all on here, we don't get them all on here. We're going to need it again anyway, so I might as well just spend the money now while we've got it. Now, hopefully, I mean, obviously we need the soybeans to be ready to harvest before really we're going to be able to be self-sufficient. So, but hopefully, okay. I thought we're not all the way through there. We picked it up now? I hope so. Hopefully, this secondary fish food factory will allow us to be self-sufficient, right? That's my hope. And the other hope is, I'm hoping that, hold on a second. Let me just make sure I don't screw this up, because I like to screw things up a lot. So let's just make sure I do this right. Hopefully, the secondary fish food production will be good enough for the 3 lakes we have, and hopefully we'll be done with the offshore aquafarm stuff, and it's out of salmon, and it's mostly out of fish food or whatever, right? Or maybe either way, vice versa. Mostly out of salmon. Hopefully. Once we get rid of all of that, it actually works out and there's no issues. I'm hoping. That's what I'm praying for. I can't guarantee it, but that's what I'm hoping for. Alright, so it's going to be a little bit of a tight squeeze here, so I think what I'm going to do is go a little bit of a different approach here. We're just going to pick up 2 at a time and then put them up there on the end there so we can go 3 across, if that makes sense. Gee, if I can stack these up here now, it might be better to do it this way than trying to stack them over there. Alright, don't flip them, Z. Don't drop them. Don't do anything. Just take your time. Slow and steady. We know how many issues you have with stacking up pallets. Let's just do it the right way the first time, so we don't have to do it again. And right on cue. We already start messing it up. Oh, that other one in the back finally fell down. Well, that's good. At least I can try to fix it now. I can try to pick it up. Alright, let's strap these down. There we go. Alright, now we just got to get ourselves reset here. I should have the beacon on this one. I don't know why I didn't have it on. I had it on the tractor, but I forgot to turn it on this one. A little late now, but whatever. You know what? Change of plans. We're going to put it over here. Change of plans. Alright, then let's get these. We're going to stack these two on top of each other just like we did before, and then we'll be able to slide them right here on the end. And shouldn't have any issues. We really shouldn't. Oops, too far. That'll work. God, I'm the best at stacking pallets and bales, aren't I? I'm just a beast at this. Famous last words. That was relatively uneventful. In other words, it was a perfect job for the most part, except for that one on the end. That worked out way better than we could have imagined. Might be the best I've done the whole series. Okay, let's get this back. We'll go and drop these off at all the different locations, the lakes, and then obviously to the aqua farm itself, and we can make sure we get all of that rolling once again. And we'll go from there. Okay, so that's all done. I even moved over the small amount of oat that was in there. I mean, that's going to be done quickly, so we'll turn that off relatively quickly. We don't want to incur fees and stuff for that. But we moved that along. There's still 4 pallets out here. I'm just leaving them there for the time being. You know, they're fine for right now. I'm going to move them over once we get this new fish food production down. So I'm not quite sure which one I want to go with. I'm going to be completely honest and transparent with you. There are some options we can choose from here. There's a lot of options, as a matter of fact. Well, okay, let me take a step back. A lot of options is not the right answer, but there's a decent amount of options, let's put it that way. So I don't know. I gotta find them. I've got a bunch of mods installed here, so just bear with me for a minute here. Those are pastas. That's not what we want. That's a grain mill. Again, not really what we're looking for. I thought there was one right in this vicinity, but maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken. I must be mistaken. Dessert dairy, medium refineries. I don't think any of these... Yeah, I don't think any of these have that. It would be nice to actually do that, because then we could put down whatever building we wanted to. Actually, we got some hail damage there. That sucks. We could put, whatever building we wanted to down there. There's some there, too. Oh, bunches and bunches on that field, but that's not really our field yet, so whatever. Okay, so maybe we do have to put down the one. I thought I had a secondary one that we could choose from, but maybe I don't. Maybe we do have to go this one, which it's huge, right? So that's part of the problem, is where are we going to put this thing at? We don't really have the land for it at current. You know, like, there's not really an easy spot for us to put this, like, unless we, take out some of the actual crop we've already put in the ground, which I'm not quite sure that's what I want to do. I don't actually mind it being back here, but again, we're going to be wasting a good chunk of this crop that we just put in the ground, right? And obviously, it's super expensive, right? Super expensive. I mean, I don't really, I mean, I guess it's not that big of a deal to waste some of that, but, like, I don't know, man. I just, not that. Because if I put this here, okay, so let's just think about this for a minute. It'd actually be kind of cool if you were able to back up to the back of the area there with, like, a semi or something and unload, but anyway. So you could put it here, but I feel like we're going to have massive land manipulation there, because that is not, I mean, that's kind of on the side of a hill, right? So, See, I could put it here, but the problem with putting it here is, okay, we normally drive through this way to unload, the fish food, right? Now, maybe if we're fully self-sufficient, you don't necessarily need to, but, I just feel like no matter where I put this, it's not a good it's not a good spot, right? If this railroad track wasn't here and this was smoother, like there's land here, we removed the trees, right? There's some land here to put it, but it's not. It would be pretty severe change there. I really don't know, gang. I don't know. Which is that? 201,000. Could buy this, and it's barley and it's ready to harvest. I guess we could. We talked about buying this piece of land in the past, right? So I guess we could buy this piece of land here. I think the biggest problem with this piece of land is there's some flat land. It's over here in this area by the tree, right where I'm actually standing at, right here. There's some flat land. The rest of it, not really. But what we essentially could do if we did buy this land, though, is we could, put it down here, maybe add some few things down here, and then this could be another field, right? We'd obviously have to have a track, which we could make a track going from here over to here, and then maybe connect back to here or something. I don't know. I'm not 100% against that idea. I kind of like the idea of having this tree here, too. Do we do that? Maybe that's what we do. 244,000 is not cheap. The problem then becomes 244,000. Okay, we've got just slightly over 200,000. We won't have enough to put down the fish food factory. Okay. I swear there was another fish food one we had installed. I swear there was. I guess not. Maybe I don't have it installed. I swear I did. I swear it. I'm not seeing it, so I guess I'm completely wrong here. Yeah, I don't know. So as much as I would like to have this land, I don't think it makes the most sense, right? I feel like, you know, maybe buying other land might be the better choice here. You know, and just taking away some of that land and putting another fish food factory there. You know, like maybe we buy, okay, how hilly is this? It looks pretty hilly, actually. I was going to say, if this isn't too bad of a hill, maybe we could, you know, buy this, harvest it, and then we could put it up, you know, in an area where it's flat. It does look relatively flat right in this vicinity, but, well, I guess the way to really, I mean, I shouldn't even get out of there. I guess the way to really figure out how flat it is to look at it from the perspective of putting down the actual production itself, right? I went way too far. Because this will tell you. I mean, well, the thing is, this is such a large production, right? This thing is gigantic. I don't think, no matter what we do, we're going to have a big, massive drop-off here. Yeah, this isn't going to work either. Up here, maybe would work. But I still think no matter which way you're cutting it, you're having a big drop-off. I don't know what to do, gang. I really don't know what to do here. I really wanted to put this down, but honestly, there's no good spot to do it. Not at least at current. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. We talked about buying this land a while ago. Let's do it. We know we can put it down there. We're not going to have enough money for it today, but maybe by the next episode or the following episode, maybe we'll have enough money then, once we're actually selling some more, right? Because whatever fish we make from now until the next episode, we will, from today's month till next month, right? We will sell that because it's technically the best to sell next month, even though the price was really, really good today. All right, well, we own it now. It's ours now. So, again, we do not have enough money, but this should be, yes, this is flat enough for us to put this in here for sure. So we can put this, I don't know where I'm going to put it yet. We'll figure that out. And then we can kind of make this area a bit of more of like a yard, a secondary yard, if you will, right? We have this, and we have some more room, maybe a shed or two, where we can put some of this stuff, because we've got a lot of equipment that's sitting out in the open, right? Well, I guess not as much as we did, but this one's sitting out in the open. It would probably be nice to move this under something a little bit larger. This is kind of in just a weird spot. We just put it there because that's the only way we'd be able to fit anything in there. So, yeah. Okay, well, at least we now know what we're going to be doing next time. But we're going to leave the episode at this point. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button. In case you have yet to do so. They are free. They help me out a ton. Thanks to my members. Cannot thank them enough. There's a link down below. If you want early access to videos like this one, including all the brand new series, as well as the one-tile challenge, check the second channel out. Link down below for there. We're playing through Red Dead Redemption. I just recently finished High on Life 2, so if that interests you, check that out. But yeah, we're playing through Red Dead Redemption 2. Playing through it slowly because it's been out for so long. I'm taking my time going through and just exploring it. Never finished the game. Played it for a little while, but I never actually ended up finishing that game. I think I got about 20, almost 25% of the way through, something like that, and then I just never finished it for some reason. I'm sure something happened in my life that was more important, and I just put it to the side and never picked it back up. But we are now. I'm having a blast going through that, so if it's something that interests you, check out that channel. The link is down below. Check out the Discord as well. I share every video that I post on either channel on my Discord, as well as I give you the opportunity to share anything that you may be working on, whether it's a live stream or video or images, whatever you want. Discussions, etc. All there on the Discord. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I'll see you next time.